Got a great though. Yeah. Hey, it's the goddamn podcast, bro. What up, Jake?
This is Jason Hughes, and welcome to the goddamn podcast.
Hey, you like to drink a little beer and then sip on some liquor? Open up your ears and then come and chill with us. Have a conversation trying to paint you a picture. Everybody see it, we gon' talk about these issues. Throw in your 2 cents and come up with a nickel. We be talking cash shit if we ain't, how you figure? The goddamn podcast satisfied like a snicker. Now come and get a taste and stick your tongue out like a lizard. Yo, welcome to the goddamn podcast, man.
You're now listening to the Goddamn Podcast. Here's your host, Jason Hughes.
Ooh-wee. That's all I gotta say about this topic is ooh-wee. All right, so as I always say, we got an important topic for you guys today. But first, before we get into this topic, I'd like to introduce my guest. First of all, we have a guest that's not from Tennessee in the house. Introduce yourself, my boy.
Yo, this is Jared calling you all the way from the 215.
From the 215, we got Jared in his house. All right, and then I have a room full of women that wants to give their opinion on this topic, so y'all introduce yourselves.
Hey y'all, it's Roxanne.
It's D, and I'm just trying to figure out why we're just women and not like beautiful women.
Okay, special guest.
Women.
Well, I didn't say he was a handsome man.
You said he was a special guest, though.
But y'all was special on the first episode.
Oh, so I'm not special anymore? That's fine.
You're still special.
Let's move on. I'm Angela. I'm not going to cause any trouble tonight.
And hi, honey, this is Jackie.
All right. So with that being said, we are going to get. Oh wait, you got to come up to the mic. You can't. I know you're on the couch chilling after you done ate that Sonic sandwich.
I'm the other out-of-towner, Amy.
That's right, Amy from out of town. So we got 2 out of towners in his house. God damn. Yeah, so that means we going global. With 2 out of towners, we going global. All right. So let's go right into this. I posted a question on Facebook that got everyone heated up in conversation. Everyone had different opinions, so I was intrigued. Some were arguing. I even had some people in my DMs about this topic. Because this topic stirred several people, I decided to make this a topic for this week's podcast. So, the question I posted was as follows. He makes $55,000 a year. She makes $35,000 a year. They move in together. Rent is $1,700. He expects her to pay half. Is he wrong? So, and hey, I swear to God, people was arguing all over my timeline about this topic, and I want to get everybody's opinions. Nobody's opinion is wrong. Let's put that out there. It just depends on what you think. So, the first question, and we're going to let the ladies go first. Do you think he is wrong for making her pay half? Who wants to go first? Somebody spit it out.
Okay. I don't think he's wrong for wanting her to pay half, but what else is he expecting her to pay for out of her paycheck? Is he also expecting her to pay electric, phone bill, water bill? You know, that all adds up, and she may not have enough to put gas in her car, contribute to groceries, buy her necessities that she needs. So, you know, you gotta consider that because she makes $20,000 less than he does.
Right.
So if he wants her to pay in on the electric, the water, the gas, the whatever, then he's going to need to sit down and say, okay, this is what I expect you to pay, and they're going to need to figure out if she can afford that. Now, if she can't, then he needs to be a little more lenient or willing to compromise and say, okay, how about you pay this much in rent, this much in electric, this much in water, and that way you still have money for your gas, for food, for necessities. That would be a better solution. So if he's willing to compromise, he's a good man. If he's not, then fuck him, get rid of him.
Oh, Jesus. Let me chime in here real quick.
Okay, yeah, okay, let's go ahead and let Jared go. Go ahead.
All right, so I actually thought about this. So while I don't disagree that the person making more should pay a bit more, if you look at what they make after taxes, so he makes $55,000, so he probably comes at $10K a year in taxes. That takes him down to 45. She probably comes in at $5K in taxes, so that puts her down to 25. So quite honestly, neither one of them can really afford a $1,700 apartment. So the logical answer is you find a cheaper apartment, or you know you come up with an equitable distribution. Like maybe he'll pay all the rent, then maybe she'll pay all the utilities. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Any other woman want to chime in on this?
Oh, please. As much as y'all had to say all the time.
Can you
No, they was trying to move the mic.
Oh,
hear me?
okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. I feel it doesn't matter what you make. You should be an independent person. If you're going to live with somebody, you need to pay half the bills. Because if you were living by yourself, you wouldn't have nobody helping you. So you need to figure it out. So if I made more than the man I was with, and he can't make it, he better get a second job. Because I'm not doing it. The same thing for a woman, be independent. Now, if you're with somebody who's loaded and got a lot of money, maybe not. But in reality, you should pay your way. Pay half. If you can't pay half, then, if you can't compromise and pay half and be with that person for that, then you move on.
Right. Yeah, I can see that too.
All right, my opinion is I agree with what's been said so far, but I'm also of the opinion that one, if we're just dating, I think there's a different expectation of who's doing what versus if we're married. And I like what Jared said about it being equitable and really paying attention. And I think it's important for both partners to actually be in a place that they could afford by themselves, because you never know when you're going to be by yourself again. But I also think it's important to kind of think about, because some men see as part of their worth or being a man is as paying the rent or paying the mortgage on a place. And so if that's how he sees himself as the provider in the relationship, then I think that's fine. But again, like was said before, like what is she paying the smaller bills in the house? I just think, especially in this day and age, most of us honestly can't do a lot by ourselves just with the way the economy is and different factors and housing. So I think it's just important for both people to know going in, like if something goes wrong, could I handle this by myself?
Right. Yeah, well, I know that one of the things that I saw on Facebook, there were a lot of women that said that, well, basically they were saying that they think the man should pay more. Majority of the women that I spoke to said the man should pay more, because he makes the most. Do y'all agree with that sentiment? Where they're getting at?
No, because I'm an independent person. I will pay my own way, whether he likes it or not.
I like that.
I agree to an extent, Jason. I agree to an extent.
Princess.
Shut up, Jared. can be mean to him all I want.
That's fine.
Sorry.
I'm not sensitive.
I gotta be focused. I agree with pretty much everything everybody said, but I also agree with the man paying more. But it depends though on how much the difference is in salary wise. Because like Jared was talking about, realistically right now, you know, if he's making 50 and only bringing home about 25, and she's bringing in as well the same thing. But if it's totally different and it's like 75 or something, then I feel like it should be he pays the majority of the percentage and then she pays the percentage if they're going to pay rent or a mortgage. Or otherwise, he says, I pay the entire mortgage and you pay all the other bills, something like that. There has to be some sort of understanding there in regards to finances.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, D.
Well, that scenario you just gave was a little different. Because if someone's making 75,000, 1,700 a month for rent or mortgage is nothing.
Correct.
But we're talking 55,000 and 25, or you said 30,000. Yeah, and like I said, after taxes, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, that's valid, but like I was about to chime in, I think also it's important if the gender roles were switched. If the woman
Okay,
was
see,
making more.
G, you jumping the gun, but
Oh,
keep
I'm
going.
sorry. I'm sorry. But you right. I ain't sorry. But I think that's if we go with just the man makes more and he's going to pay the rent, and you know, and some women feel like that's just the law and the code, you know, that they live by, whatever. One, you make sure whoever you're with also agrees to your version of events. And then two, though, you have to understand if you as a woman are expecting a traditional type of man taking that traditional type of role, then I feel like you also can't get mad if then he is expecting certain traditional roles from you. If now he's like, are you cleaning the house? Are you maintaining? Not saying she's not working a job and doing whatever, but I think it can get tricky because, you know, women want to be independent, but a lot of us also want to feel provided for or cared for. Not saying that we can't do it on our own, but part of the reason you have a partner is so that you don't have to do it on your own. So if these women feel like it's okay for him to pay all the rent, that's fine, but are they also okay with now being more traditional when it comes to maybe household duties? Because he is paying all the rent.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, you guys. I just got a text message. Hey, as they say on Love Island, I got a text.
No one watches that.
Okay. Hey.
But yeah, that's my opinion on like you can't take, or you can everybody can do what they want to do. But if you're trying to be more, if you want the man to be more traditional, then he has a right to expect some more traditional aspects out of you, and you can't be offended if he does.
Right.
That's my opinion on it. Like, okay, if that's his role, then if he says, well, your role is to cook us a meal every night, you can't buck up and be like, I'm not your. So
Right. Okay. So I had one comment. I had one comment where this lady said, if the guy didn't pay majority of the rent, why the fuck did she need him for?
What?
Yes. Yeah, she said she can do
She's
bad
alone.
by herself.
she's alone, and
And she can be alone. Exactly.
she's alone. She will stay alone.
Right. Because there is some women out there that's like that.
I mean,
And I've met them.
And that's why they're alone.
I mean, and I understand that because when it comes to certain things, yes, I can do bad all by myself. I don't,
Amen.
you know, there's certain things I don't, if I'm still making all the decision and paying all the bills, then yes, I can be by myself for that. But if I have a partner and it's a partnership, somewhere in the equation, certain things are lifted off of me. It might not be a financial thing. It could be, you know, household things or children, just different things. We should be able to balance it out. so that we're not all doing it by ourselves.
Yes,
So-
yes. But some women were raised where, you know, the man is supposed to be the provider. The man supposed to be the person that runs the household. And so that may be where they're getting that mindset from, you know, because they was raised that the man supposed to take care of the household. I mean, haven't you heard that too, Jared?
Have, but I mean, quite honestly, that mentality is old.
Right.
You know, I'll say this: I'm a Gen Xer, so depending on where you're from in the country, that may or may not be a thing. But with the subsequent generations, it's almost definitely not a thing. You know, just that's not what people were taught anymore. Like women are taught to be independent. Like, go get your own stuff. Don't depend on the man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need to hear from the only married woman in this bunch.
The only
Oh,
married
Lord.
woman. Oh, yeah. Amy, come up to the mic. Come on, Amy. Look, even the crowd is cheering. Amy, Amy, Amy.
Well, there has to be a compromise in there somewhere. If he makes more than she does, then I would think he would pay more of the share of the household bills. In my instance, he pays the mortgage and cooks. So I do the rest of the house cleaning, but he does the majority of that. So there's a compromise on our end.
Yeah. I mean, and to me, as long as there is a compromise, you know, everybody, you know, should be happy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a compromise. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that he don't do in the house, and which is fine because I'll pick up that and he picks up the rest. So for us, it works.
Right. Okay. All right.
It has for a long time.
Okay. So let
30 years.
Okay. So let's go to question number 2 then. Does it matter if they are just friends or in a relationship? And with this, I look at it like this. If they are just friends, I do think that it needs to be half and half. If they're in a relationship, then, you know, then let's discuss.
Right. There's a conversation.
Oh yeah,
Right.
definitely. If we're friends, we're roommates. You're gonna pay your bills, okay? And then, like you said, if you're in a relationship, then even more so of a conversation probably needs to be had because things are more clear cut if you are just roommates. If there's nothing sexual or romantic involved, it's like, here are the bills, here's bam, bam, bam. It gets tricky when you start, you know, feelings get involved. And that's when you really have to be clear and have that communication. And if you can't communicate with the person about money and things, then you definitely don't need to be living with them. So.
Nah.
Yeah, I can see that.
He pretty much said everything I was thinking, so
Okay, well, let's say this. Okay, let's say they moved in as friends, but then all of a sudden it developed into a relationship. She giving up the Goody Two Shoes. She's giving up the Rice Krispies. Does that change anything?
Why is it crispy though?
Okay, how about Skittles?
It should be a soft and chewy cookie.
God damn.
It's got to be moist.
God damn.
hey, at least it's not Arby's or something tonight.
Yeah, we ain't talking about roast beef tonight.
Right.
Yeah, but okay, she as Ice Cube said, she's giving up the nappy dugout. So does that change the perception?
Let's get Jared.
Okay, no, Jared, they want you to go first.
No. All right. Do me a favor. Repeat the question.
Okay, so let's say they moved in together as friends, but all of a sudden it developed into a relationship while they was moved in. Does that change anything?
I mean, it does, but that's a conversation. You know, that's something y'all gotta talk about. You know, I mean, is it a real relationship or is it a situationship? Like what's the story? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because it just could be a friends with benefits situation. But that's still, I don't know what I would do if I moved in with a female and it was a friends with benefit relationship. I guess it depends on how good the sex was. You'd be like, okay, baby, I'll pay 60-40.
You know what? I think if we go in, look, that first lease, we're not going to change a thing. I don't care how good anything is, okay? You slap on the knob, poppy toppy, we can ride it. No, we're going to keep the arrangement as it is. Now, when it's time to sign that next lease, we can renegotiate. But I don't think you should renegotiate in the middle of the first one.
Even if the sex is the bomb?
No, because now feelings are involved. If we started this as a business arrangement, for this first lease, we're going to keep it as a business arrangement. Because if I was okay with it from the beginning, paying half, and you were okay paying half, we don't have to change it right now.
God damn, y'all more cutthroat than men are.
But I was already paying half, so why change it now?
That's not cutthroat.
God damn.
Look, we're trying to make sure that the sex is going to remain good, okay? I don't want to get in some kind of situation. We just having a good time, and then by month 9, I don't want to deal with you no more.
I know, but
then you feel some type of way, and then you like, well, you know what? I've been paying more of the rent. When you going to pay me that money back? No, you volunteered to do that. No, but the thing we said was everybody's gonna pay half. But you volunteered to pay more. I mean that don't matter. You said you was gonna pay half. Ain't nobody got time for that.
God damn.
So just go ahead, stick with your original agreement, and then when the lease comes up for renewal, then we can renegotiate.
Okay, so what if it's so good that the person said, oh, look, I can't give you any more sex unless we renegotiate now?
That means you need to get the hell out.
Right.
Because
but both of y'all on the lease.
But that means we still going to go with the same agreement, half and half.
But the sex is the bomb.
God
damn.
That's what toys are for. I mean, there's other sex out there, okay?
I know, but it might not be good. That person might be a 10 and the person you messing with is a 6.
Why would I do that to myself?
What is the sex?
If I'm a 10. Ooh. How dare you downgrade me?
But wait.
I don't waste this moist cookie on anybody.
God damn.
Oh my God.
Go ahead, Jared.
Let's kind of reverse the situation or look at it from a different point. What if you're having sex and the sex ain't bomb? It's just all right. Does that change anything?
Oh yeah, then to me it goes that it was 50-50. Now I'm 30%, she's 70%.
So you trying to be homeless?
Yeah. She's about to be homeless.
Oh, okay. So anybody listening, if you want to move in with a friend of the opposite sex and you think you might end up being friends with benefits, please get everything written down and notarized. Right,
yeah. So just to tell y'all, if you want to hook up with Jason Hughes, aka the modern day Diff.
You said the modern day Diff. Okay.
Yeah, you better come correct.
But what are you ranking yourself? Right.
Ooh.
Okay, we're gonna save that for another podcast.
No, sir.
Yeah, we're saving that for another podcast.
Nah, good brother. Come on, tell us what you got.
Let me know so I can get in on that podcast.
Wait, hold up. You sound like you might have first-hand knowledge.
I don't know. I may want some, but I need to know what I'm working with.
Yeah, we might have significant others listening to this podcast. No, I'm like Bill Clinton. I did not hook up with that woman. But no, seriously though, if y'all ain't never heard about people fucking their landlord to get a discount off of rent. All right,
that's called Pornhub.
Yep, and XNXX and X videos. But maybe that person is doing the same thing. So I guess I'm more sympathetic.
No, that's not what you are.
Okay,
I
what
wouldn't
am I?
use the word
Uh-oh.
sympathetic.
Okay, here we go. Be careful now, because people are listening.
Pervert is good.
I was being nice.
Right. That ain't the word. But again, why are you moving in with somebody who you don't think can get the other half, who can cover their bills that they said they could cover? See, that means you're setting up an unfair power dynamic, and you want that shit to happen. So then you have all the power because you're paying more. You know they can't come up with their having, so all they have is their body. So that just sounds real shady and shysty, motherfucker.
No, because you don't know this what's gonna happen. Hey, that's just like when COVID hit. A lot of people lost their jobs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's say you moved in, I moved in with a female, and then all of a sudden she lost her job, you know, due to COVID or whatever. Now me.
So you gonna let her work it off?
No,
You gonna become a pimp?
I'm not that. I'm not that cutthroat. I'm not that cutthroat.
Not that cutthroat.
Yeah,
I
not
noticed
that.
the qualifier.
Yeah, not
so
that.
So how
cutthroat
cutthroat are you?
I'm talking about people with jobs. You know, so let's say she's making all this money, and instead of her being responsible with paying her bills, she going out to nightclubs and spending money on Gucci handbags and and shades and all of this stuff, and then I'm gonna be a little short on the rent. Oh no, this is not gonna fly.
Well, first of all, if y'all were friends beforehand, you should have known that bitch didn't know how to handle her money, and you should have got into an agreement with somebody like that.
No, because let me tell you something. No,
Clearly, this is a personal experience.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. No, and this ain't got nothing to do with moving in with a girl. I moved in with a guy. I thought me and him was tight, and man, his budgeting skills was garbage. Oh, it was garbage. It was certain times we almost got evicted, and I had to borrow money from other people just to make sure that we could still stay in that same apartment. So you don't know.
That is
true. I'm not one of those people that want to know what's in your pocket.
Yeah.
So I just I'm not judgmental. I just look at the person. Oh, they look like they straight. Look like they dress nice and every time we order food they go in half. But the living situation is all the way different.
But that's true. That's true. Some people live in that chaos, and you don't know until you know.
Right.
So usually it affects you in a negative way.
Right.
So I agree with you on that. It can be hard to pinpoint sometimes.
Right. All right. So, I was trying to look to see what mark we was at, but I can't tell. But anyway,
Are we ready to talk about the reversal of the sexes?
Okay, yeah, that's my third question.
Okay, that's third. Okay.
This is my third question. Here's my third question. What if the salaries were reversed and the guy makes $35,000 and she makes the $55,000? Should she pay the majority? For those of y'all that think that the guy should pay the majority when he had the $55,000? Anybody?
Yes, I think she should. Now, again, it's all about communication. If this is something he feels like he needs to do because he's the man in the relationship, I would let him do it, and I would take the other bills. But I would not make it mandatory for him, if I'm making more money, to cover the biggest bill by himself. But I think when it comes to men and that type of thing, there's more of a pride and what's the word I'm looking for here? How the optics of it. People thinking a woman's taking care of you could be emasculating depending on who you talk to.
Right.
And so I think that comes more so into play than you hearing a man paying the rent for a woman. That's like, oh, okay, that's kind of more of the natural order, or that's more acceptable than saying the reverse. But honestly, I do feel like if you have the most money and you're able, then go, and that's how you guys define your roles, then do that. But I also believe whoever's paying the rent shouldn't hold anything over somebody else.
Right.
So.
Right. What you think about that, Jerry? You think if the woman made the most money, she should pay majority of the rent, or you still think it should be half?
No, my answer is the same. Like, the person making more money, if they can pay the entire rent, and then the other person can pay the utilities. If they want to work out something else, that's between them. But yeah, fair is fair.
Yeah, I understand that. I think I think with me, even if I moved in with, someone that made more than me, I think I would have to pay half because I think I would feel ashamed of myself if I didn't. To me, it almost feels like I got a sugar mama taking care of me. Yeah, she paying 70% and I'm paying only 30. Like hell to the no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if I can. Yeah, I'm gonna always do half. But one of the things that I thought about when I posted this subject and everybody got all in an uproar about it, and I may just be an outlier, but when me and my girlfriend moved in with each other before we got married, we had a joint bank account. So it really wasn't about, who, you paying half, I'm paying half. We combined our money together and it was just about getting all the bills paid. I mean, did y'all do that or am I the only person that did that?
I'm not combining my money with nobody. I'll pay half everything, but you're not getting in my account. No, sir.
Are you serious?
Yes, sir.
Why?
I have built and saved and saved. If I'm in a relationship now, you have your account, I have mine. I'll pay half the bills. You're not getting anything. I've worked my ass off for the past 25 years.
God damn.
Okay, I have my account. He has his account, but we're on each other's account.
Oh, so okay.
Like I have my account that I had since way back when. He's got his account that he pays the majority of the bills from. But we're on each other.
Right.
So I can write checks off of
His account, yeah.
But he's never wrote a check off mine, but he can.
Right.
So he's
Yeah, but y'all are married, so it's different.
Yeah, but we did that before we were married though too.
Yeah. All right.
Because we've always had separate, but they're separate, but they're joint, I guess you could say.
Right. Yeah. See, see what I was told. One couple told me what they do is they have a joint account and then they have their own separate accounts. So they would use the joint account like to pay bills or whatever, and their separate account was, just to, so to speak, jack the money off.
Okay, now I can speak to that one too because my cousins have his account and and then they have a joint one because he don't trust her with the money because she spends it as fast as it's coming in. So they do have their separate accounts because of that. I enable her shopping though too. But
right.
Do not incriminate yourself. Back away.
I know.
But they have their separate accounts because,
it works.
It works for them. And like I said, he don't trust her with the money.
You gotta know what you got. What you're working with.
Right. And, and the bills need to get paid. So
Right.
Homelessness is not fun.
No.
But
No.
Oh, you said put your foot.
Hello.
Okay. I agree with the whole separate and a joint account. I feel like that's kind of the easiest way, and I think kind of more equitable. You don't have to worry. You want to treat yourself to something. If you have it in your little play account or whatever, go have fun with it. But making sure home is taken care of. I think it is harder for especially women nowadays, thinking about putting their money with somebody else, and especially as you get older. You have worked hard, or if you've been in a situation where you were married or in a relationship, you shared money and it didn't go right, it makes you more hesitant to combine finances. And
right.
And honestly, I agree with that because, when my grandmother got married to my grandfather, she ended up inheriting like 2 sides of a street, a whole street, some churches, a whole bunch of stuff in the town. When they got divorced, he was able to take half of her stuff.
Ouch.
So it's like, in those kind of situations, I don't feel like certain things are fair, or that can happen with money. You've heard of, people leaving their spouse and taking the money on the way out, and, nobody having any recourse. So I get trusting people, but also making sure that at the end of the day, you can take care of yourself. And I think it eliminates some of the arguments. When you have your play account, you don't say, who bought these $500 shoes? Well, I have $500 in my account and the bills are paid, so
Right.
mind your business.
You know that happens to men all the time, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So that's not like unique to your grandmother.
I mean, but let's also think about when it comes to women and the time frame. If I'm talking about my grandmother, we're also talking about in a time period when it was harder for not only black people, but especially women to own property, get credit cards, work outside the home, and all those things. So after she married my grandfather, she became dependent on him. So when they then got divorced because of his multiple affairs and things, why was it right for him to then take things from her family?
I can reverse that and say the same thing about women who do the same thing to men.
I'm not talking about, like, if I'm your wife and I've been with you for 20 years, let's say, you were high, because people really have this problem with people with celebrities or athletes who make a lot of money and then the wives take half. To be your wife, a lot of them have had to give up other things they're doing, take care of everything, make you and their household their primary job. And what men try to do after the fact is act like what I did in the home and supporting you wasn't a job, but it was. And now that you're done with me 20 years later, doesn't mean I can now go back out with the skills I had 20 years ago and get a comparable job. So I also, it was included in making you to what you are today. So why do you have a problem giving me your fair share? Now, I'm not saying...
You're making hang on. You're making an assumption.
You're making an assumption.
No, I'm not. You made an assumption saying that you use the example of an athlete making a lot of money, marrying a woman who had a career. We've seen tons of cases where these dudes have married this woman. Her only job was being a hot chick. Had no discernible skills, nothing.
That is true.
I'll give you a great example. Larsa Pippen.
Oh yeah, I mean she's a hoe for sure.
God damn.
Yeah. But
she's a hoe for sure.
Hang on. Oh yeah, but she's not the only one.
No,
she's literally one of many.
But
so
also,
this is what I'm going to say to you. Hang on. Let me finish this point. My point being is what you said. I understand. Again, I understand about your grandmother. A little caveat. Can I ask you how old you are?
I'm 40.
Okay, so your grandmother was probably married after divorce laws changed to favor women. Unfortunately, no. When did she get married?
It would have had to have been before, probably around 1950, 51.
How old was your... What?
Yes.
Okay, all right, no. They got married in 1951?
Yes, it was my grandmother. I'm 40. My mother would have been 63. My grandmother, my mother was born in 54. The math is mathing.
Wait a second. Okay. They must have been super, super young.
I mean, that was a different time. He married her right out of college. She went to Fisk University, and he was in the military.
Okay, well, anyway, the divorce laws changed in the 70s.
Yeah.
So she got caught up in that.
Mm-hmm.
But still, again, I don't hear a lot of women complaining when they get to take advantage of the divorce laws. I only hear women complain when they get taken advantage of.
I'll say this, though. For the men who have been taken advantage of, because like you said, Larsa Pippen, she a hoe for sure. However, a lot of these men know what they chose when they chose it and chose the arm candy for a reason and didn't protect themselves thusly. So whose fault is that? But at the same time, while she was a hoe for sure, 20 years ago, she's an older hoe now, so she can't pull what she used to pull. So she still lost time on the market, so he gonna have to pay for that. He leased it, but he didn't
if
buy
I'm
it.
an athlete, is it my fault that she has no discernible skills to take care of herself? That while she was with me and she had access to infinite amounts of cash, that she didn't do something to better herself?
I mean, but as her husband, was that something that you promoted, or did you like her there because she was the trophy and she looked good and you liked her available for you anytime you wanted her and
listen,
do what you needed her to do?
She only going to be a trophy
it
for a
cuts
hot
both
minute.
ways. It cuts both ways. Just because we see her spending money and doing X, Y, and Z, we don't necessarily know what went on in her house and what his expectations of her were. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Being an athlete, being a doctor, being someone, a high-powered CEO, a lot of people who have those high-powered jobs, they require or they have a lot more support at home. There's stuff they don't do and have other people do. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. If you don't have to clean your own house and you can delegate that, do it. If you have somebody else who can cook for you, do it. So a lot of times the woman becomes the household manager. And not necessarily just the household, but sometimes they're charitable foundations, other things they're working on, making sure other things are taken care of. So we can't minimize what could be going on in the background just because all we see is when she takes a pretty picture at brunch. We don't know the whole story, and that's just with any man of means.
Well,
we can't just
that was
assume
my
that the
point to
woman
you.
doesn't have the means, the ability, or the want to do something for herself non-connected with her husband. This just may be what they set up for themselves. So when he's done or she's done, that doesn't mean she should then leave empty-handed because she has done things, but it may not be something you can put on a resume.
Sure. Listen, and I'm not discounting that somebody needs to pay for something, but I'll give you something I just learned about the other day. In Florida, of course it's Florida.
No, Florida. Let's talk about the cesspool that is Florida.
Apparently, up until about a month ago, if you got divorced and you had to pay alimony to your ex, you paid it for life.
God damn.
Yeah, like dudes were having to go to court to ask if they could retire because they wouldn't be able to pay that money anymore. Yeah.
And I don't agree with that. I also don't agree with punitive child support. I don't believe men should be so raped that they can't support themselves and they need to pay have 8 and 5 jobs because they're literally getting 75% of their check garnished. I don't believe
No one should.
Right. So I don't believe in anything being unfair. However, there's a different, especially with women, because we have to take more breaks usually from the workforce. If we have a family, if we have children, that's a break. If the sick, usually people expect the mother to be handling that stuff. So we are ready. One, don't get paid the same as men. Depending on what field we're going in, we also don't get the respect due to us, and it's harder. And then we have to be, we're women, and when you're pregnant, you're actually put on pregnancy disability. They consider pregnancy a disability.
That's the government, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying with all that being said, when we usually take more breaks. If someone needs to take care of somebody in the family, it's usually the women. So if we have breaks in our careers and stuff, it's hard enough for us to jump back in and do certain things.
I will say this. In my experience, especially in the last 10 years, I've found that there's been an equitable distribution. Like, I happen to know a number of men who left the workforce to take care of a parent, or who
that's
stopped.
in the last 10 years.
Yeah, but I'm saying, things have changed. I know a bunch of guys who are changing. Yes, I know a bunch of men who actually are stay-at-home dads.
And how old are you and these men?
I'm 51, so most of them are right around my age now.
Okay. And are these with younger wives? Are these newer children? Or have they been at home for like the last decade? And this is no shade. I'm getting information.
The last decade.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, because the last question was, what if the salaries was reversed?
Yeah.
So who else wants to respond
I
to
don't
that?
know, because y'all just completely lost me. Just go back to the original question and answer it.
No, but I also spoke about, having the joint bank accounts and, the blah, blah, blah,
Yeah, I'm a no in the joint bank account, married or not.
Yeah, and what's crazy, and I'm gonna leave it at this before we go to another podcast, but it's crazy how people try to scheme on their significant other when they have joint bank accounts. I used to have a supervisor. He would never sign up for direct deposit. He always got a live check. He would get it cash, and then he would put a certain amount in their joint bank account because he told his girlfriend, I don't know if it was his girlfriend or wife, but he would tell his significant other, I only made this amount. So let's say if he was getting a $5,000 check, he would tell his girlfriend, I'm only getting $3,000 per week. He would put that in the account, had 2 G's to jack off. Uh-oh.
He needs to go.
What did you just say? He gotta go.
Yeah, Amy said he gotta go. But it happens. It happens with joint bank accounts. Uh-oh, look,
Well, that's a trust issue then. If he can't, no, he got to go.
I know, but
No, she got to go.
Oh,
Right.
he got to go.
Right, but at the same time, you trusting him because you don't know how much he made. You don't check your husband's pay stub, do you?
My husband don't get a pay stub.
Okay.
Huh?
He's a farmer.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
We deal with, he's a farmer. So we deal, we got money coming going every month because we got cows, we got corn, we got crops, we got it all. Except horses, them are worthless.
Oh, okay. Now, y'all know on the goddamn podcast, I gotta play devil's advocate. Okay, so we talking about just straight cash, right? Yeah. Straight cash. Okay, let's say
There's a check that.
Oh, okay. So let's say he gets $5,000 in cash, but he only puts in $3,500 and he keeps $1,500. How would you know that?
I wouldn't know that, but that's a trust issue. He can't.
Right.
Yeah. No, he got to go. At 30 years, I don't care. He got to go.
Right. But see, that's the problem. A lot of people don't know.
Well, I'm gonna know what he brings in.
She's looking to get rid of her man.
Whether he gets whatever kind of paycheck.
What you say, Jared?
She looking to get rid of her man.
No. He cooks for me. I starve.
Oh,
She's never gonna get rid of her hubby because she is spoiled. The joke is she's gonna move with me, and I'm like, no, because I'm not gonna take care of you like him is. He is.
God damn.
No, I will be the first one to admit I'm spoiled. Yes, but if I can't trust that he's gonna tell me what he's bringing in, then I'm sorry.
Right.
But that's just me.
Right. Yeah, and just like I said, I do think that that's more of a loyalty issue. Just like I said, to see my supervisor do that, I'm like, oh, hell no. I could never, that's why I always got direct deposit, because I wanted my wife or significant other to know this is what I'm bringing to the table. I don't want her to sit up here and even question me. Okay, you saying you making this much, but how can you prove it? I don't want. I don't need that added pressure.
Right.
So
see, I get a paycheck, but he has no clue what it is.
God damn. So how does he know that you ain't hiding money?
How he can go under the bank statement and look because it's direct deposit.
I know that, but that's what you deposit. We're not talking about that's what you deposit, not what the company is depositing.
Not if it's a direct deposit.
Well, no, you can't split it up in accounts.
Yeah, you can.
You can do what?
You can split it up.
Split it up.
I mean, he doesn't have a clue, but if he asks me, I'm not telling him.
God damn. Yeah, this is gonna
I
be.
got nothing to hide.
Hey, this is gonna be another topic for another day. But anyway, you guys.
Make sure you loop me in on that one.
Hey,
Anyway,
Rock, make sure you tell her husband to ask her.
all right, y'all. So with that being said, we about to get ready to end this podcast, and I see you guys next week. And Godspeed. And the only thing I gotta say about this podcast is God damn.